I have not. She has not talked to me about my daughters in years. I don't even know what's going on with them.
As of March 31st, 2021, Mr. Molahan is behind in child support arrears $9,548.10.
All right, there's only child support. There was no medical support set. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Correct.
All right, I'll take that matter under advisement. All right, go ahead, Ms. Kaplan.
Thank you. The state calls Ms. Perez as a witness.
All right, very well, go ahead. She's been sworn in.
Ma'am, what is your name?
Andrea Pettis.
And what has changed since the last court order in this case?
In regards to, I'm sorry, in regards to what situation?
Have the needs of your child increased?
Yes, they have.
And what are some of those increased expenses?
Well, Taylor is now in high school, so she does need more clothes, more shoes, of course, more food. She does have, good thing she has insurance because she does take some medication. So now, and then of course, graduation in the future expenses.
What type of insurance do you have for your child?
Right now I have Medicaid.
And
Books,
you mentioned,
school supplies, things like of that nature.
and all of those items, those are new expenses since the last court order in 2017?
Other than just maybe graduation in the future. And her medication is something new.
Is the medication covered by insurance?
Yes, unfortunately it is.
Do you have any out-of-pocket costs associated with that?
Right now I don't. If insurance changes, I would, but as of right now, fortunately, I don't.
And when is your child graduating?
She's graduating this year's 2000. She'll be graduating next year in 2022. Right? Yes, 2022.
And what expenses do you have associated with her graduation this year?
Well, her graduation, like her cap and gown, maybe a vehicle later so she can get to school or college expenses.
And how much are you paying towards those expenses now?
Well, right now, not graduation because that's in the future. That's for next year. But those will probably come maybe next May. Maybe next April, May, possibly.
What expenses are you paying now?
Well, I'm paying like groceries, gas to get her to, well, right now she's doing online. So right now I'm not doing that. Clothes that she does still need, food, general expenses.
Judge, objection
Utilities.
asked and answered.
I'm sorry?
Oh, no further questions. Pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Rasas, any questions?
No questions for this witness, Judge.
Okay, I do have a question. Ms. Pettis, there are two children, Caitlin and Taylor. How old is Caitlin?
Caitlin is 19.
Okay, has she already graduated from high school?
Yes, she has.
Okay, so right now we're just talking about Taylor.
Taylor, yes, sir.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 16. She'll be 17 next month.
Okay, all right. So we're talking about one child before the court today.
Yes, Judge. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, ma'am. I just wanted to clarify that. Right, Ms. Kaplan, any other evidence or testimony?
Yes, Mr. Molahan.
All right, go ahead. He's been sworn in.
Sir, what is your name?
Adam Molahan.
And What has changed since the last court order, sir?
I've lost my business. I've gone on unemployed. Sorry about my voice is gone. I've been sick. Lost my business last year. I've been on unemployment since the beginning of February, March of last year. I've had to sell a lot of my assets to be able to support myself. We just recently sold our house to be able to move to another state to be able to work and make money to support ourselves because we can't make no money here.
And how much are you earning in unemployment benefits, sir?
$169 a week.
Do you have any other sources of income, sir?
No, ma'am. The only thing is my wife works.
Do you have any other children that you have a duty to support, sir?
No, ma'am.
Do you have health insurance available for your child in this case, sir?
I do have private insurance.
How much does that insurance cost just to cover your child?
I don't know.
You mentioned that you sold your house because you're moving to get a job. Is that correct?
No, I said I'm selling my house so we can pay for our things because we have to move because there's no work here for me.
Have you gone to any interviews?
No, not yet. My wife, no. You're talking about here in New Mexico?
Anywhere. Have you gone to any
I have been
interviews?
on interviews here in New Mexico, yes.
And do you have any pending job offers?
No,
Do you have any health conditions which prevent you from working full-time?
no.
When is the last time you had a job?
Last February, last February,
What type of work did you do?
construction, remodeling.
Why can't you do that type of work now?
Because here, everybody in the state of New Mexico, the state is shut down and it's been shut down. It's hard to do any work when people are not working and doing their own work.
Are there any other job skills that you have besides construction?
Yes,
And what skills are those?
I do audio, video. I do home inspection. I have my own home inspection business. That's what I do.
And
Sorry.
have you tried to get a job in that line of work,
Yes.
doing home inspections?
Yes, I have.
Have you applied for any jobs teleworking?
I couldn't hear you.
Have you applied for any jobs teleworking?
Have I applied what?
For any teleworking jobs, sir?
Telemarketing? Yes, I have. But they're not teleworking.
Yes.
I have applied for some jobs of that. You're talking about the audio videos, what you're talking about?
Yes, like appearing virtually like you hear this hearing?
Right, correct. You're talking about a virtual meeting? I'm not understanding your question.
I withdraw the question. No further questions for this witness.
All right, Mr. Razas, any questions?
Yes, Judge, thank you. So are you currently married? Is that right, Mr. Mollohan?
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Are you currently married?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And do you have any other children outside of Caitlin and Taylor?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in the last order on September 26, 2017, you both agree that you were going to take care of Caitlin's health insurance and Ms. Gonzalez was going to take care of Taylor health insurance. Is that right?
Correct.
And you're asking this court to continue to be that way?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you're currently seeking for employment. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, as you heard, there's arrears on your case.
Correct.
Okay. And how much are you asking this court to make payments a month towards your arrears?
$100.
No further questions, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Kaplan, any other questions?
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor. Pass the witness.
Wait, Mr. Molahan, when did you lose your job, sir?
It was back in February, March of last year. I was into it. Sorry.
It's all right, sir. Do you need to drink some water or anything to help you?
No, I have allergies.
Okay.
Sinus infection.
All right. Okay.
Uh,
You said are you currently in New Mexico?
yes, sir, I am
Where in New Mexico are you at?
in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. And so your only income at this time is your unemployment?
And my wife's employment.
No, but your
Yes,
income
sir.
is just unemployment.
Yes, sir.
And how much do you get a week?
$169.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, well, I own my own business. That's why I'm lucky I'm even getting that
And how long have you been receiving unemployment?
since last March.
Since last March. Do they have like a workforce commission up there in New Mexico like we do here in Texas?
Yes, sir.
Have you reported to them?
Yes, sir. I report to, I try to find jobs. There's 40,000 people trying to apply for one job here, and it's tough. So that's the hardest part.
Okay, I understand that, sir. All right, thank you, sir. Any questions on the areas the court touched upon with Mr. Molahan? Ms. Kaplan?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Razas, any other questions?
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Kaplan, your case, anything and any other evidence or testimony?
No other evidence or testimony at this time, Your Honor, subject to a brief close and recommendation.
All right, state rest at this time.
Yes.
Mr. Razas, you rest also, or you have any other evidence or testimony?
None, Judge. I rest.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, Ms. Kaplan, I have received the updated financial report, and based on that financial report, I'll go ahead and confirm the arrears in this case as of the end of March to be $9,548.10 in child support only. There was no medical support set in the prior order. Recommendation on this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on Mr. Molahan's unemployment of $169 a week that he testified to, and the income information provided by Mr. Rosas, the state has calculated a current child support amount of $184, current medical support amount of $46, a repayment on the arrears as requested of $100, all obligations beginning May 1st of 2021.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rosas, closing.
Judge, we have come up to that amount. With the exception of the health insurance, which we are asking for Ms. Pettis to continue to be obligated for health insurance for the minor at this time.
Well, the health insurance presently is being provided through the Medicaid.
And it's being paid by Ms. Pettis, Judge. That's my understanding.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, Ms. Pettis, you heard the recommendation of the state with regard to the child support, medical support, and payment on the arrears. Are you in agreement with their recommendation, ma'am?
Well, I don't know what the financial is. Well, as far as his financial situation, I haven't received anything since last year. And if that's the recommendation of the state, I don't quite agree with it, just because he hasn't tried paying anything in the last year or in a while. But if that is a recommendation of the state, I just have a question. If for any reason his payments stop coming as they have been in the past, what would be the next process or the next?
Well, okay, well, I would ask that you talk to the Attorney General as far as any further action.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a motion for enforcement that can be filed for him not complying with a court order. And if the court determines at that time that he has not been complying with the court order, he could be held in contempt of court. But that's something that you need to discuss with the Attorney General to see if that's the next step in this case. All right, based on the evidence and testimony before the court, I do find that there has been substantial material changes since the last order. And based on his current income, I will modify the child support as recommended. He said based on his current earnings, child support at $184 a month. Presently, the child before the court is covered under the state insurance plan, either CHIP or Medicaid. Will assess the medical support as recommended, $46 on the medical support. Having confirmed the child support arrearage in this case, at an additional payment of $100, the child support arrearage. All these new payments are to commence on May 1. No payments must be made through the registry of the court through the state disbursement unit.
Judge,
Any questions?
Yes, Judge, I do have a question. Does the month of May count towards that balance? Oh, of April, I'm sorry. Does the balance of April count towards that balance that he owes?
He still owes May.
Oh, April, I'm sorry, April.
I mean, he still owes for April, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
He still owes for April. The reason that we're confirming child support as the end of March is that that's how the financial system works.
Mm-hmm.
So since he's still obligated to pay April's, that's why that is not included. He still have to pay April child support. These new payments commence in May.
Oh, thank you, Judge.
Any other questions, Ms. Pettis?
I do have a question for the Attorney General. As far as any changes in his financial situation, how soon does he need to report them?
Either party has the option of requesting that the case be reviewed for a modification.
Oh, no, I just meant like if he starts working again, does he need to report? I mean, from my understanding, the Attorney General I understood that they needed to report that within 30 days of any changes in employment or address or anything of that nature.
Yes.
All parties do have to report to the Attorney General and on any changes such as if you change from Medicaid or have other health insurance changes, especially with regard to employment. Let's say Mr. Get employed, he is required to report that change to the Attorney General's office so they can review the obligations at that time.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Kaplan, anything else? Ms. Terrazas, anything else?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Mollohan, you're waving, or did you have a question for your counsel?
Yes. Is this until Taylor is 18?
The support obligation continues until she turns 18 or graduates from high school, whichever happens last. Because some kids turn 18, but they still haven't graduated yet. So it's until she graduates from high school, if she's already 18.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mr. Terrazas, any questions, ma'am?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Kaplan, submission of the order. How do you wish to proceed on that?
Your Honor, I'm going to send the order to Ms. Terrazas for her review and her client's review. And I'll be sending it to Ms. Perez as well for her review and
Okay.
signature.
All right, so Ms. Kaplan, what's going to happen now is that Ms. Kaplan will be preparing the order as I have issued right now. She'll send it to Ms. Terrazas for her review and approval. And she'll also send it to you, Ms. Pettis, so that you can review it and approve it. Okay?
Judge. Mhm.
I have a question,
And,
Judge.
well, hold on a second. Let me just finish here.
Okay.
And once you all have approved it, then she will forward the order for me for my signature. I will sign it. Then the order will be filed with the clerk's office and copies will be sent to the parties. Mr. Mollohan, I guess your copy will be sent to your attorney. Ms. Pettis, they'll send you your copy as well.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Mollohan, you had a question.
Yes, you said that I had to pay $46 for the health insurance, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I put her on my own insurance, I can do that?
If you do that, then you need to file some sort of a motion to modify this order.
Okay, that's okay. That's what I need to know.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I have
right.
I'm so sorry, Judge, I have a question. She, Taylor is on a very specific medicine that she needs to take. And right now the insurance covers that completely. And it's, so my worry is that his insurance might not cover her entire medicine.
Okay. All
If
right.
I'm paying for it, I can put it on my own insurance.
I'm okay
Okay.
with how it is right now with her insurance.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm not going to have this give and take, okay? If there's changes on health insurance, let's say Mr. Mollohan provides health insurance. Anything that is not covered on health insurance, if that happens, then the parties split 50-50 of those expenses. That's what we call unreimbursed medical expenses. If there are any such unreimbursed medical expenses, then it's 50-50 for both parties. However, Ms. Pettis, you would have to notify Mr. Mollohan. These are expenses that are not covered. You pay 50%, half of it.
Judge,
That's the way it works.
Judge, can I refuse for him to provide the insurance because right now,
as I told you all, anything can be modified, can be changed. Okay,
yes.
If he wants to provide the health insurance, or whenever that happens, then he will have to file a motion with the court to modify the medical support.
Okay. Yes,
and we'll have a hearing, to determine whether or not it's appropriate for him to provide the health insurance. The important thing is we need to make sure that Taylor is covered on health insurance. Right now, she's covered on Medicaid, and that's why we're doing a Medicaid order right now.
okay. Yes, because Taylor's medicine is extremely important, and communication with him is very poor, and it's a lot easier for me just to be able to take her to the doctor when I need to know that her insurance is covered. It's peace of mind for both of us to know that she is covered. And it's my concern is only Taylor. So,
well, like I said, if that should happen, we haven't crossed that bridge yet, ma'am. Okay, so if that were to happen, the law requires that if you do have any unreimbursed medical expenses, you notify Mr. Mollohan about that in writing and give him a certain time period, a reasonable time period for him to comply with 50%, half of those medical expenses. If he doesn't, ma'am, I'm trying to answer the question. If he doesn't pay it, then you can file a motion for enforcement of medical support as enforcement of child support.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
The only thing is that medicine is about $15,000, and I cannot afford to pay half of that amount if it's not covered. And then if the medicine is not covered, then Taylor does not get that medicine.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Mollohan, I suggest that before you make any changes, you make sure that those expenses, it seems like the medicine is a big issue.
It's very important, extremely.
Judge,
Ma'am,
I
I'm
haven't,
trying
I
to-
haven't
okay.
seen, I have not, she
Right.
has not talked to me about my daughters in years. I don't even know what's going on with them. So
Okay,
for me to
we're gonna
even
finish,
understand,
we're gonna finish this
it's
hearing for
hard.
today, sir. All right, thank you all very much for your participation.